through chapter 4.2, similar triangles. So let's go through the definition of similar triangles. What are similar triangles? Two triangles are similar if each pair of corresponding angles are equal. So this part is the same as congruence. The second condition will be each pair of corresponding sides are proportional, which means the ratio of each side should be the same. And where can you see similar figures in real life? So these are some of the examples where it has been scaled up or scaled down. And then you have an example of a bridge. So this is sort of similar to what you learned in Sec 2 scale factors. First of all, the first test will be angle similarity test. Do note that this test doesn't work for congruency, but it works for similarity. So if the three pairs of corresponding angles of two triangles are equal, then the two triangles are similar. So once you know that they have two equal angles, you can of course conclude, because by deduction, the third pair of angles should of course be the same as well. So let's look at the first example. Which angle is equal to angle BAC? So because we know that ABC is the same as FDE, right? Angle ABC is same as angle FDE. Angle ACB is the same as angle FED. So of course, angle BAC must be equal to angle DFE. Oops. Okay, part B. Name a pair of similar triangle and give a reason for similarity. You must make sure that for part B, the way you label your triangle, the corresponding sides must be in order. So it's similar to triangle DFE. Okay, because this is by angle test. Find the value of x. Okay, so for part C, you can't just do a direct comparison and say that x is 5 because they are similar, but they're not exactly the same. So we have to compare, in this case, the scale factor. So for part C, FE over AC, which is the corresponding sides, have a ratio of 4 over 6, which is 2/3. So we know that this is a ratio of 2/3, meaning that the smaller triangle has been scaled down 2/3 the size of the bigger triangle. So we can likewise write the same for DE over BC. They should have the same scale factor of 2/3. And we know that BC is 5. So we know that this is x over 5. We can do a cross multiplication here. And then we get 10 is equals to 3x. X is equals to 3 1/3. So that is my value of x. So here's another question. So these are some of the different ways questions like to present similar triangle. In this case, these two triangles overlap. So if you split them up, it's actually similar to the previous question now. But they like to make it overlap to make it look slightly more difficult. So part A, which angle is equal to angle BAC? So angle BAC is equal to angle BDE, okay, because of corresponding angle. And BCA is equal to angle BED, for the same reason, corresponding angle. So name the pair of similar triangle and give reason. In this case, angle DBE is the shared angle. We know that all three angles are the same now by angle test. Triangle DBE is similar to triangle ABC. Oh, okay, part C. Find the value of x. Again, you have to make sure you use scale factor here, since they are only similar and not congruent. So I should answer part C here. My scale factor, we can use what we know here is BE over BC. BE is 4 and BC is 6. Again, this is a scale factor of 2/3, right? So this question is actually exactly the same as the previous question, except that I make the triangle overlap. So over here, BE over BC should have the same ratio as DE over AC, which is equals to x over 5. Right? So again, my x is equals to 3 1/3 if you do your cross multiplication. The second test will be the side similarity test. For congruency, you just have to check that the three sides are all exact same length. But for here, you have to check that the three sides have the same ratio, which means you check now that the scale factor is consistent for all three sides. So first example, let's check. Show that triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. How do we show that? We need to show that all three sides have the same ratio. So part A, we show that AB, so you look at this, AB over DE should have the same ratio as BC over EF, which should again have the same ratio as AC over DF. Oh, sorry, DF. So let's check, okay? This is what we want to check. We haven't confirmed that, that's what we want to check. So let's key AB over DE has a ratio of 6 over 9, which is 2/3. BC over EF have a ratio of 8 over 12, divided by 4 is also 2/3. And AC over DF has a ratio of 10 over 15. So again, 2/3. So look at that. We have three same scale factor. The ratio is, the proportion is the same now, which means that by SSS, triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. Once we confirm similarity, we can easily find the angle X, because the angles of similar triangles will also be the same. So angle X is equals to angle ABC, which means X is equals to 72. Okay, question 2. Name a pair of similar triangle and give reasons. So let's try. What we want to check is we want to check whether BC over DF, whether is it the same as AC over EF equals to AB over ED. So BC over DF is equals to 6 over 4, which is divided by 2 is 3 over 2. And AC over EF is 9 over 6, which again is 3 over 2. AB over ED is also 9 over 6, again 3 over 2. So all these ratios are consistent, they are similar, and therefore triangle ABC by SSS, triangle ABC is similar to triangle EDF. So find the value of X. So X is equals to 20. Since they are similar, the corresponding angles should be equal. The third test is the side angle side similarity test. So the angle in this case must be between the two sides that you test. So let's look at this question. Now if I were to turn this figure over, it will look exactly similar, right? It looks very easy, but to increase difficulty, usually the question will like to make the triangle look like that. And then they ask you to show that ABC is similar to XYZ. So you put it like that, it looks confusing, but we just have to follow the labeling here. Since the labeling should be consistent, this should be corresponding to this. So for part A, what we want to check is that AB over XY should be the same as BC over YZ, and it should be the same as AC over XZ. Okay, so we want to check that these three ratios are consistent. AB over XY is equals to 15 over 10, which is 3 over 2. BC over YZ is 22 over X. So that part we don't know. AC over XZ is the same as 21 over 14 divided by 7, 3 over 2. So over here, two ratios are consistent, but we can't confirm this, so we use angle. We know that this side have the same ratio as this side over this side, right? Okay, so we now look at the angle that is in between here, this angle and this angle. So what we have is angle BAC is equals to angle ZXY. Therefore, since we know that the side angle side test is confirmed and triangle ABC is similar to triangle XYZ. So it doesn't mean that every time we need to check all three sides, the ratio must be the same. You can always check the two sides and the angle between the two sides. Part B, find the value of X. Since now we confirm that these two are similar triangles already, which means that the ratio must be consistent. So this ratio should also be 3 over 2. So let's do a cross multiplication here. We have 44 equals to 3x. That means x is equals to 44 over 3. So again, I can flip this triangle over. It looks much easier. It looks exactly like what we have seen earlier, but they like to make it look like that. Show that BDE is similar to triangle BAC. So what do we know? We know one thing. Angle DBE is a shared angle. Since we know that, very likely we have to use SAS. So we know the angle here. Let's look at the side. So let's look at BD over BA. BD over BA is 21 over 21 plus 7, which is 28. And that divided by 7, that gives us 3 over 4. And then the other side, we have BE over BC. So we have 24 over 32 divided by 8. So we also have 3/4, which means that by side angle side, which means this side, right, this side, this angle, and this side, okay, we can confirm that triangle BDE is similar to triangle BAC. Part B, they're going to ask you to find X. So X should correspond to AC. Right, this is your DE over AC ratio. And this ratio should be the same as 3/4. So we can do a cross multiplication for X is equals to 36 times 3. So X is equals to 36 times 3 over 4. And that gives you 27. Okay, so this is equals to 27. So here's a summary of all the tests.